So how's Austin smiling here?
He's on the ice and he's looking good. He's happy to be here and looks like he's ready to go.
Fluky play, obviously, but does it speak to how locked in he is in the defensive end?
Yeah, I mean, it is a fluky play. Obviously, you don't see something like that happen very often. But yeah, I think as I watch the play back, he's defending against Crosby. Excuse me, in that situation, he's in pursuit and making sure he's getting after him, and his focus obviously was not on the net in that case. So yeah, I think it does show what he was focused on in that moment. But again, I think it's just really just a fluky play, an unfortunate play.
Yeah, Kemp was just saying it's always a good sign for a team when your best players are locked in defensively, like Austin and Mitch are. Can you speak to how maybe that part of their game goes unnoticed because their offense is so pucky?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it goes unnoticed. I mean, it certainly doesn't go unnoticed by us. We've talked a great deal, and the fact that Mitch is on the penalty kill, that in itself jumps out to you. But I think we've talked over the last year or so just the strides that Austin's taken defensively and how he's really prioritized that and takes on the challenge of playing against the other team's best players. Most times he's going to get those tough matchups. He's one of these guys that the caliber player that he is. He's going to play so much, and he's going to have to play against good players. The other team's coach is going to challenge their players to play against him just the same. And then there's a responsibility that comes with that defensively. So, I think we've seen tremendous growth in him in that area. I think Mitch has always been that kind of two-way type of player. But for Austin, I think in my time here, he has really prioritized that side of it, and he wants to be great on both sides of the puck.
Timothy back, just again talk about switches last game to this game, and another tough team obviously for your defense to handle.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we didn't want to take Liljegren out the other day. It was just the circumstances with the Adam Brooks situation that we were in, and Liljegren had to come off the roster as a result. But so that forced us to move things around. But he's played very well for us and deserves to be in the lineup. So it was an easy decision to get him right back in today and get him right back with Muzzin. And certainly with this team we're playing tonight, it's as deep a team as there is, and much different looking team than what we saw out in St. Louis. So yeah, it's going to be a challenging game today on in all three phases. 5-on-5, power play, penalty kill. They're an elite team in all regards.
Ultimately disappointed not to get Adam after everything that happened.
Yeah, I mean, we were looking forward to adding him to the mix. But when you look at, I coached Adam Brooks for a long time, and I've got a tremendous amount of respect for him and appreciation for him and what he's done for us, and whether it's winning a Calder Cup with him or his time in this organization and seeing the impact he made with us last season. But he wasn't going to be certainly starting in the NHL with us, and this keeps him in the NHL. And if there's going to be anywhere that he was going to go, he's a proud Winnipegger. So to be with the Jets is good for him, and I'm happy for him in that sense.
How have you felt about Jake Muzzin's progression? He was just telling us, it's not an easy injury to come off of, and there's been some maybe not timid nature, but just getting the physicality back has been a process for him. What have you made of his play since he's come back?
Yeah, I would agree with what you're saying. You could see that, and you could understand why that would be the case. For a guy who plays a physical game, but you're coming off of an injury of that nature. It takes a little bit of time, for sure, not just to get up to the pace, but to be comfortable asserting yourself physically, and then also recognizing that other people are going to want to be physical around you. There's an adjustment period there for sure, and everybody handles it differently. And I don't think Muzz has had a tremendous amount of experience in dealing with that type of an injury, so there can be some anxiety associated with it, and I think he's finding his way through it. Our medical staff's been really good, and we were very patient with his approach from a medical standpoint, and he was very patient, making sure he was ready. But it's going to take time in terms of the game reps, and I think he's finding his way there.
I don't know if you still keep in touch with Martin Marincin, but he won a bronze medal today.
I don't keep in touch, but we we saw I think he scored a goal or two throughout the tournament, and we were happy for him. Another guy that was a real good person for us here in this organization, and did lots. So for him to be back there and playing and succeeding for his country is great. He's played a lot of good international hockey.
You feel like the Tavares line is starting to get going a little bit here?
I do from a scoring chance perspective. I mean, I really looked at our last few games. I think they've really started to come, and Pittsburgh game maybe not to the same degree, but certainly on the road trip, I saw a lot of really good positive signs from them. And in Seattle, their line, with Muzzin goal late that they were on for. Obviously, the Kerfoot goal is a great goal, not just because it gets us going in the game in Seattle, but the nature of how it happened. Forecheck, win the puck back, get off the wall, make a play, shoot in the net. Willie's got good traffic at the net at the time. It was a really good goal from a line perspective. All three players contributing on it, but I thought even in Calgary and Vancouver, same thing. They had chances. Willie's really missed a couple of breakaways here recently. It looks like they're finding their way. Offensively, it hasn't gone in necessarily. I went through, really looked at all their scoring chances over the last 10 or 12 games or so, and there's been enough there that the puck should have gone in. And someone like Will in particular has missed a number of chances that were going in for him early in the season. He's in alone on the goalie and such, but yeah, as long as they continue with those type of habits and details that were in that Seattle goal, I think the goals will come.
Confidence be a thing for even guys like that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, confidence is certainly a thing. I mean, you like to think guys who've scored at a higher clip throughout their career can trust that and appreciate that it will come back. But it can also snowball really quickly in your head. So, I think they've been finding ways to produce and get some points on the power play and things like that. And that can't go unnoticed, because that's, our power play and penalty kill have been, if not winning us games, certainly, putting us in good spots to do so. And they're a big part of that. So they should be confident there. But, at 5-on-5, it tends to pile up a little bit. So that's on me to help them manage that. It's on them to just trust that their abilities and the play that they've had over the bigger sample over the course of the season has been good. And like I said, I really liked that Seattle goal, because it was a really good sign of the three of them really working well together.
In terms of the penalty kill, like with power plays nowadays, it seems like it's the standard, the 4 forwards and 1 defense. So for those working the PK, like whether it's means beforehand or just human nature for the forwards in the moment, like you find now there's more looking for opportunities to go the other way than maybe in years past?
I wouldn't say that as much. I mean, it depends on how many years ago you're talking about. I mean, the 4 forward 1 D thing has been around for quite a while now. So I think that from that side of it, teams have tried to capitalize on it. Obviously, I mean, more often than not, the power plays are doing a better job than the penalty kills are. It just so happens our PK has been a lot of ways outplaying a lot of power plays. Usually goes the other way, and the 4 forwards really helps with that. But there's some vulnerabilities there for sure. And if you can jump on top of it, it's not just the 4 forward 1 defenseman, but it's just the nature of the 1-3-1 power play. You tend to have obviously just one guy at the top, and you have 2 flank guys that play lower. And once the penalty kill forwards get ahead of those guys on turnovers and things, it's a real dangerous chance going the other way. So it's something to you want to capitalize on from a penalty kill perspective. I don't think we're unique in that sense. But we do have players that make really good reads, have good speed, good sticks, great anticipation, and then on the other side of it, we talk about it as a power play. It's to be mindful of that. When you're in the backside flank, you got to be mindful of what level their penalty killer's on, especially anytime the puck is in question. But it's a tough thing, as when you're running a power play, you don't. The moment you start talking to your power play about defense, you're already kind of behind the 8 ball, because they're out there to score. So if they're thinking about not getting scored on, that's going to be an issue for them. And I think right now we're in a good place there, where I'm sure they are talking about that a little bit, and we hope that we can continue with that. And this team here tonight is going to be a significant challenge, not unlike it was in Pittsburgh. So we got to just stay with it.
What makes the Blues power play effective from what you've seen this season?
Just a ton of skill and a ton of depth. Like both units, when they're healthy here is, like I said, different from when we saw them out there. But when healthy, it's 2 minutes that they're coming, and you've got to be ready to handle that. You've got to, all the fundamental things in terms of face-off and clears and denying your blue line, all those kind of stuff. Kind of things. You got to be really good because there's no let up from the 10 guys that they're using.